What's good, y'all? Marathon here, and today we are going to talk about zero trust architecture for day one. And today we're just gonna go over the conditional access stuff. So nothing too crazy. I'm just gonna be pulling from some templates that we have and configuring it as we go along. I do want to say this. Uh, Please do not use this as a basis to your your future work. This is just to create a home lab and help you get hands-on experience with basically touching Azure, right? And seeing what it's like to implement policies that affect the user. Uh, but yeah, quick little intro on zero trust architecture. If you guys don't know what it is, it's basically it's an IT framework. It's an IT security framework, and it's assuming that you're compromised or your device is compromised, right? So in that case, to prove that are you who you say you are is one of the things is MFA. Uh, what you know, what you do, what you are, things like that. Passwords, pins, biometrics, retinas, handprints. You know, those are ways of authenticating yourself. In terms of my experience with zero trust, I'm actually working on it right now in my organization. I'm working with like my managers on getting our org, you know, more zero trust, should I say. But don't take, what I'm doing in these series too seriously. This is just to help um, people who haven't touched this stuff, like touch Azure, and to hopefully understand from a business perspective, like why this is needed, how conditional access policies work, and all the other stuff that I'm going to do in the series. That's just a quick disclaimer from me. From me, just trying to help people get started in their tech careers and what it's like to, you know, build something from the ground up is basically what we're doing because we're using a home lab with Azure and Entra. I'm using the Entra suite right here. Just to let y'all know, I'm using the free trial. That I'm actually going to cancel this in the next 5 days. I know it's 7, but in the 5th day, I'm going to cancel it. I don't want to get stuck with paying for licenses I don't really care for. I made that mistake with 3 P2 licenses. So, yeah, been stuck with an unnecessary expense. Could have saved a bunch of money, but hey, that's life. But yeah, make sure you get the Microsoft Entra Suite to get your free trial started, and you should be good to go from there. Now we're in Azure. We're going to go over to Microsoft Entra Conditional Access. We're going to click here, left-hand side policies. And then you guys can see here, I have my conditional access policies. And how I came up with it is I went to new policy from template, and I just clicked on zero trust. And I just focused on blocking legacy authentication, require MFA for admins, require MFA for all users, right? And what we want to do with each policy, well, I guess, sorry, for these two, let's start with these two, is that when we go into our policies, we want to make sure that they're affecting everyone, but we are excluding our break glass account. Now, with our conditions, we're going to make sure that we also have a sign-in risk, and for, this is what this is going to do is it's going to prompt if there's a sign-in session that Microsoft thing is compromised, like impossible travel, for example. Like let's say you have a user in New York, he's logging in from Seattle, and he did that within 10 minutes. Like, how'd you get to Seattle in 10 minutes, right? So we're going to make sure that MFA is on for medium and high, but low and no risk. Like, no, that's okay. And then for grant, we require MFA to grant access. And sign-in frequency, we'll do MFA per day, right? So in some companies, like this type of MFA, it could be more strict. But in this case, I'm a bit more lax, I should say. But the concept of zero trust is this: is that I'm assuming that you're compromised, and to authenticate yourself, to tell me who you really are, you gotta have MFA. We gotta have MFA on you, and you have to go through MFA. And then for my admins, let's say you want to be more strict. Same song and dance here, include everybody. But in these directory roles, those admin roles, Does it show you which admin roles there are? Okay, app admin, auth admin, billing admin. Yeah, GA, help desk. Conditions. I have two conditions here, a sign-in risk here and a user risk right here. Grants via MFA. And then for my sign-in frequency, let's say for my admins, they have to reauth every 4 hours. And now, for block high-risk users, this is blocking everyone, excluding my break glass, because you never know. That's the break glass. High risk, yes. User risk, high. And I'm going to block, right? I just have everything set to report only. I don't want anything on right now. But that was our conditional access policies that we've set. In real life, it's totally different. You're gonna come in, like let's say you get the job, you're gonna come in and you look at their access policies. It's a lot more stuff than what I'm doing. This is just an oversimplified version of like what it looks like in the corporate world, in real life. Let's go over to Zero Trust architecture again. So for day one, we configured MFA for all users. And you can see the impact, right? Why we do the things we do. Okay? Enforcing MFA for high-risk sign-ins. Blocking legacy authentication. And then, looks like I didn't do require compliant devices for access. So let's go ahead and have some fun with it. I have my guide on the left-hand side, by the way, that y'all can't see. But let's go to conditional access again, and then we are going to go to device compliance. Well, maybe they already have like something here. Let's say you want your device that logs in to be compliant, also connected to, you guys' tenant, hybrid, Azure AD, right? Create. You can have this, or you can make your own. And I'm going to exclude my break glass account. All cloud apps, conditions. Let's say you have specific platforms that you only like allow. Maybe it's iPhones and Windows only. Windows Phone. And then let's say you got location. You want to configure that to yes. Like let's say you're a US based company. You only want people from the US to be logging into your stuff, nothing outside of it. You could like say all trusted networks and locations, but then you have to define that somewhere else. I'm not going to get into that now. It's just so much. And then here, you're going to click require device to be marked as compliant. Here's the thing. I don't have a criteria on creating on what a compliant device is, okay? I could potentially lock myself out. So I'm not going to create this 100%. That's for you guys to do. I'm just showing you guys what it's like, okay? But I'm also emphasizing that this is where Zero Trust is coming from. Absolutely making sure you are who you say you are, because you might have been compromised, right? MFA for authentication, blocking high-risk sign-ins, differing the MFA refresh time, so like every 4 hours for admins and then once a day for all other users, things like that. Impossible travel is blocked, legacy auth is blocked. But yeah, that was our conditional accesses for our tenant. And like I said, don't take this too seriously. Like, oh, what I just did now, and it's like this is what happens in real life. Like, no, there's a lot more that goes into it because you're talking with other people, relevant stakeholders, looking into regulatory frameworks, business requirements on setting stuff up for zero trust. Right? It's no like oh, you're not zero trust enough because of this and that. Like, it all depends on your business context. Okay. Key term, business context. You're going to want to understand the job that you're applying for, the company, why they do things the way they do. You can leverage such knowledge to ask questions in an interview. And your interviewer and hiring manager, they'll appreciate you for it because they're like, wow, like this person understands like, what it means to click buttons in terms of like business requirements. That's an important thing because you can't come in and just like click buttons just to click buttons and you're like, oh, you can't explain why you're doing things. Like, no, there has to be a drive for it. Your decisions have to produce value. But that was it for today's video. Just setting up a couple of policies here under conditional access. And this is a final summary, which I will share and you guys will follow along. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video and I'll be back for day 2. Peace.